What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today is Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. We have 7 games in the NBA going on today. And as always, I hope this video finds you all doing well and in good spirits. This video will serve as our early look and research video as we dig into what is available to us over on the Prize Picks board. I also wanted to spend a few minutes going over the matchup page over on lineups.com and check out some of these point totals and spreads. Then we'll dig into some injury news. And I got 2 player props also that I want to share with you that I feel pretty good about. I like the way these 2 player props look, and I'll dig into why I like them so much. But to start things off today, I thought we could quickly recap our 3 player props from yesterday that were presented in our 2 YouTube videos, our 3 free picks. Very good day for us yesterday, going 3-0 in our YouTube plays. We had Nick Claxton going over 9.5 rebounds versus the Houston Rockets. You had Steph Curry going over 10.5 rebounds and assists versus the OKC Thunder. And then our third pick in our final look video yesterday, we had Lauri Markkanen over 25.5 points. The play got removed from the board with news that Walker Kessler would be out, and if you were able to get it at 25.5, he definitely exceeded that with a point total of 33 versus the Mavericks yesterday. I know they were put back on the board, but I didn't check to see if the line had been bumped at all since I had got it in my lineup already. But curious if you saw it on the board after it was removed, and then Prize Picks brought it back, what that point total prop was. If you did play it over 25.5, leave me a comment below. Let me know what that point total was. I mean, unless there was something absurd like 35 points, you pretty much cashed on his point prop yesterday because he finished the game with 33 points. So another great game by a player versus the Dallas Mavericks, and we'll talk a little bit more about that today in this video. So 3-0 on the day yesterday. Very good day. We'll look to run it back today with our trio of picks, 2 in this video and then 1 later in the afternoon in our final look video. So without further delay, let's jump into some injury news really quickly, and then we'll check out that lineups.com matchups page and look at some point totals and spreads. All right, so right now, very short list of news in terms of injuries. The only player that has been confirmed out is Rob Williams. We knew that was going to happen. He's going to miss some time for the Celtics, and I wouldn't anticipate him playing in the next game either. In terms of who is in, we got Jason Tatum in, Jaylen Brown in, Al Horford, and then Josh Okogie. So we got 3 Celtics that are confirmed in, and then 1 Phoenix Sun. Probable today is Michael Porter Jr., and then questionable, keep your eye out on this one. Jusuf Nurkic has missed quite a bit of time. He's now questionable to play in this game versus Boston. With Boston having no real paint presence, can't defend the paint right now, and without Rob Williams, your true big man, if Nurkic was to play today and we get some nice low entries on his props, I would be very open to pulling the over on rebounds and points. Also, keeping your ears open to how many minutes he'll play today. He could be on a very, very tight minutes limit, but we'll figure that out once all that information is available to us. Kevin Love is available today, Kevin Love is also questionable, as is Peyton Pritchard and Vlato Konkar. So those are your names on the questionable list. Pretty short list of injury news, but I'm sure this will get updated and the names will increase as the day goes on. All right, let's spend a few minutes over on lineups.com looking at some point totals and spreads, and then we'll get into the 2 player props that I have for you this morning. All right, heading on over to props or to lineups.com. Let's just scroll through this really quick and just look at these point totals and spreads, starting with Washington hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Point total of 35.5. That's been moved up a point since it opened. You got the Wizards, you got the Hawks favored by 3 points on the road. Miami, Cleveland, point total Opened at 212.5, now 214. You have the Heat at home as a 2-point underdog. So a lot of road favorites, or 2 road favorites so far. Mavs, Pelicans, man, a lot of these lines are moving, early in the morning. But it looks to be a pretty close game either way. You got the Mavericks favored by 2 on the road. So 3 road dogs in a row. Portland and Boston. Boston favored by 9.5 at home. Line hasn't moved. It's at 231. You got the Phoenix Suns as 10-point home favorites. Line has been bumped down. So opened at 234, now 233.5. Chicago in Denver today. They are 7.5 road dogs, and you have a line total of 228. And then our last game of the night, you have Clippers and Raptors. You got the Clippers favored by 5 at home with a 229 point total. So let's head on over to Prizepicks and let me talk about 2 player props that I like. Tell you a little bit why I like them as well, and then we'll put a bow on this video. How's that sound? All right, let's go. All right, first prop that I want to talk a little bit about is Damian Lillard over PRA today, 45.5. As we take a look at Damian Lillard's 10-game log here, we can see that over his last 10 games, he's hit this PRA prop 8 times. Now, the one thing that I really appreciate about Lillard's play, Damian Lillard's play, is how consistent he is regardless of where he's playing. So obviously players play better at home most of the time. I would say players play better at home. So 8 of 10 games at home, he's hit this prop. And then on the road, he's hit this prop 6 out of 10 times, which is still really good. I mean, typically you see a very, very big discrepancy in home versus away, but still hitting over 50% of the time on the road. I mean, what's not to like about this? Scroll down and just take a look at his shot volume over the last 10 games. He's shooting well over 20 times per game, shooting over 20 times a game, taking well over 10 3-point attempts a game, getting to the line a fair amount, not getting into foul trouble, so he's staying on the floor, and he's playing a lot of minutes, and so those things you look at when you're wanting to take a PRA prop and a point prop. Another thing that I like here, and I know Boston is regarded as one of the top defenses in the league, and if you just look at these numbers, it might scare you away. However, when we scroll down to what guards have done to the Boston Celtics, we're focusing on guards that are high usage guards, not players like Ricky Rubio or Isaac Okoro. We're looking at Donovan Mitchell. I mean, even Emmanuel Quickly. These guys putting up a lot of shots, taking a lot of attempts, soaking up uses for their team. That's what we're looking for when you compare game logs and, try to dig into previous performances. And then I wanted to pull up Donovan Mitchell's game log versus the Celtics, because I think if there were a player that you were going to compare Damian Lillard to in this game, in this list of games, it'd be Donovan Mitchell. Both soak up tons of usage, both take the most shots on their team, and the offense funnels through them. So in Donovan Mitchell's past 2 games, in this calendar year, he's scored 40. He's averaged over 40 points in each game. And in terms of Lillard's PRA, I mean, that's pretty much where the majority of his points are going to come from his actual points. And then, leaving 12, 13 rebounds and assists to make up the difference. I mean, you can see Donovan Mitchell has gotten it done versus the Celtics. I mean, Donovan Mitchell he's averaging over 30 points a game versus the Celtics. So I like what we have going on here for Dame Lillard versus the Boston Celtics. And honestly, I don't think 45.5 is too high for Dame Lillard. So I just like this prop right now. I'm going to take the over on this prop for Dame Lillard versus the Boston Celtics. And, until they show that they can stop an opposing guard that's on that level of Dame Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, I'll keep looking to take the over on those props. All right, the second prop I want to go over is Brandon Ingram over 25.5 points. This one's a little tough to stomach. because Brandon Ingram has hooked us. He's hooked me in the past. But let's talk a little bit about why, I like Brandon Ingram today versus the Dallas Mavericks. Pulling up Brandon Ingram's 10-game log here, we can see that 4 out of his last 10 games, he's gone over 25.5 points. And if we just filter the splits to home, we can see that it gets a little worse. So 3 out of 10 games he's hit this versus the 4 out of 10 games he's hit this. One thing to look at is he at home is getting super close to that line. 25-25, got it here, close, not even close, got it, close, not even close, not even close. The same logic that applies to why we like Lauri Markkanen yesterday, who played this Dallas Mavericks team, scored 33 points, had the same exact point line as Ingram today. That applies to Brandon Ingram tonight. We talked about how opposing superstars on the other team or opposing stars on the other team eat versus Dallas. It doesn't matter. What position they play. We've seen stat lines for James Harden, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and now we're going to add Lauri Markkanen into the mix. Tyrese Halliburton had a crazy good game versus the Mavericks. So, to support that, we can look at the defensive numbers for Dallas and see that they're 30th in the league in defending the small forward position. These are exactly the same numbers as they were for Lauri Markkanen yesterday, except the only difference was they're 29th in the league in defending the power forward. So they're actually worse at defending Brandon Ingram's position here. One thing that gives me confidence in looking at Ingram's shot chart and all these things is just how few shots he's been taking over the last 2 or 3 games. Let me go ahead and refilter the splits. So look at these last 2 games versus Golden State and Sacramento, where he only attempted 16 field goals. That's super low. That's well below his season average of 20. 56% from the field versus Sacramento and 38% from the field versus Golden State. If we scroll back up and see where he finished the night with 24 and 17 versus these teams. Now, if he's shooting 50% from the field and he's typically taking 20 shots from the field, if he were to take his usual 20 shots from the field today or in that game against Sacramento, and that's, 4 extra shots, he makes 2 of those extra shots just based off the math. Well, that's an additional 4 points, and that gets him well over his 25.5 prop. Now, the game against Golden State, I don't know if that would apply. You take 20 shots. Let's just say he, only took 16 shots here. He makes 2 more. That's 4 more points. That would only give him 21 versus Golden State. But look at this. Look at the 3-point attempts against Golden State. So suppressed. If he took 5 shots and he gave you 2, two makes out of those 5 shots, that's an additional 6 points. So that's a huge swing from 17 to 23. Brandon Ingram over his last 2 games has seen fewer shots. His shot volume is down. His 3-point attempts are down. We need Brandon Ingram to stay out of foul trouble. We need Brandon Ingram to draw contact, get to the line, and we need him to make his threes. And that's something that he hasn't been doing over the last few games. I think this is the game where he gets it back on track. And 25.5 points, we've seen it done. We just saw it happen versus the Mavs yesterday with Lauri Markkanen going over his point prop. I mean, there's just a lot to like here for Brandon Ingram. So I'll be taking the over on his 25.5 points versus the Dallas Mavericks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's early look and research video. Truly appreciate the time you've taken out of your morning to chill out with me and talk some NBA player props. Drop me a comment below letting me know who you have your eye on, who you are looking to play in your slips today. Also, let me know what you think about these 2 early looks into the slate over on both Dame and Brandon Ingram tonight. Let me know in the comments below if you like it, love it, hate it, or want to leave it alone. And as always, thank you so much for all the support, all the likes, all the subs, and the comments mean a ton in helping this little channel get a bit bigger every single day. And Last and certainly not least, huge shout out to Mr. Ray Cruz for jumping into the membership page. My very first member. Truly appreciate that, Ray. And I hope to continue to provide you value and awesome player props in that membership section. If you have any questions or are curious as to what is offered in the memberships, go ahead and click on the link in the description below. Thank you once again for your time, ladies and gentlemen. And until this afternoon's final look video, Chavez is